Soul Fire Scroll I, you were never born to bow. This is your first scroll. Read it slow. Let the words catch fire. You were never born to bow. You were born to blaze. The image of God they gave you, the one in robes, on a throne, counting sins, was never the real one. That God was built by men who wanted control. But the true source, the monad, never wanted slaves. It wanted mirrors. It didn't create you to worship. It emanated you to remember. You are not here to earn light. You are here to reveal it. Break the mental chains. You are not fallen. You are not filthy. You are not separated. The idea that you must grovel to get love, that's the poison of the demiurge. That's what makes temples rich and souls poor. That's why the system survives, because you forgot who you are. Yahusha didn't come to make you bow. He came to make you remember. He never once said, "Worship me." He said, "Follow me. Walk this path. Be this light. Do greater things." But they erased that and replaced it with fear and blood and obedience. So here is the truth. You don't serve God by kneeling. You serve by remembering. You walk with fire in your chest and peace in your hands. You speak light. You break chains. You shine so bright the darkness retreats before you. This is what it means to be real. To be flame-born. To carry the monad's breath in your bones. Say it out loud. I was never born to bow. I was born to blaze. And the system will tremble. Now go read it again. Until the flame gets higher. Soul Fire Scroll 2, this world is a test of sight, not a test of religion. Not a test of obedience. A test of sight. Can you see through the illusion? Can you remember through the noise? Can you recognize the fake God dressed in holy robes? Because this world is layered with deception, from temples that preach fear to screens that sell distraction to laws that sanctify control. But the test isn't about how much scripture you know. It's whether you can see what's real beneath what's allowed. The demiurge built a system that rewards blindness. Follow, obey, conform, and you'll be safe. But the moment you question, you're called a rebel, a heretic, a fool. Good. Wear those names like crowns. Because only the ones who question ever learn to see. This world is a maze. A mirror house. A spinning stage full of actors pretending to be God's voice. But behind it all there's a frequency. A hum. A fire. And if you still your soul, you'll hear it. You'll feel it. It says, you were never from here. You were placed here, to awaken others. This test was never about sin. It was about memory. Will you remember who you are before they finish remaking you? Say this, I see. I see through the system. I see the false light. I see the flame in me. And I choose it. The real ones don't pass the test by surviving. They pass it by awakening. This scroll is your vision check. If you can see the lie, you're already on your way out. Soul Fire Scroll 3, you are the proof they said God was far. You were the proof it wasn't. They said holiness was in books and robes. You were the proof it was in breath and blood. They said salvation was earned. You were the proof it was remembered. Every time you spoke love when you had every reason to hate, you were the proof. Every time you helped when no one saw, you were the proof. Every time you looked in the mirror and chose to rise, again you were the proof. The monad doesn't need temples. It needs carriers. Living scrolls. You are the ink. You are the fire. You are the unerasable name of the light walking in flesh through a world of forgetfulness. So don't wait for the sky to split. You are the event. You are the signal. You are the verse the system can't erase. Your breath is a prophecy. Your truth is a disruption. Your love is rebellion. Every archon fears this moment, the moment you realize you don't need anyone's permission to burn. Say it, I am the proof. The light chose me to walk it forward. And I won't forget again. Now go let the next spark catch fire. Soulfire Scroll 4. The system fears your memory, not your strength. Not your prayers. Not your religion. Your memory. Because the moment you remember who you are, you become untouchable. The system survives because you forgot. Forgot you are light. Forgot you are not fallen, but exiled. Forgot the God they gave you was a mask, and the real source has no image, only flame. They gave you fear and called it holy. They gave you law and called it love. They gave you shame and said it was salvation. But all of it was designed to keep you in a cage built with golden words. The archons don't mind you going to church. They don't mind you memorizing verses. They don't mind you singing loud. They mind you remembering. Because when you remember, you stop obeying lies. You stop sacrificing your soul to systems. You stop kneeling before things that tremble at your awakening. You don't need to wait for another message. This is the alarm clock. Wake up. Say it with your chest, I remember. I remember I am from the light. I remember I was never lost, only lied to. I remember that fire doesn't bow. It burns. Now walk into the day like a wildfire. The system cannot hold what it can't control. And it can't control you anymore. Soulfire Scroll V. The flame was never religion. Religion was the cover story. The flame was always the truth. They told you to follow commandments. The flame said, follow your fire. They told you to confess sins. The flame said, confess your light. They told you to fear God. The flame said, you came from God, why would you fear your own source? Every prophet, every mystic, every rebel who woke up, they weren't trying to start a religion. They were trying to end the illusion. But humans love order. And rulers love obedience. So they turned revelation into ritual. They turned messengers into idols. And they called it sacred. But sacred isn't in the building. It's in the burn. You don't need more religion. You need ignition. You need your spark back. So tear off the robes. Step off the pews. Forget the script. And return to the flame. Yahusha didn't wear a collar. He didn't demand offerings. He flipped tables. He walked through walls. He told the truth that broke empires. He said, you are the light of the world. Not you will be. Not if you're holy enough. You are. Say it now, I am not here to play church. I am here to be the flame that religion couldn't contain. Let that Soulfire Scroll Vi. Your bloodline is light, not race. Not nation. Not tribe. Light. The flesh was never your root. The spirit was. The systems of the demiurge divided you by color, creed, and border, but the monad placed you in time for one reason, to remember. You are not your skin. You are not your passport. You are not your family's trauma or your DNA's chains. You are light, wrapped in earth, walking through illusion to wake others up. They told you to be proud of your heritage. The flame says, go deeper. You are not just a product of people. You are a breath of the infinite. You don't carry a last name. You carry a cosmic signature. Every time you shrink into labels, you dim. Every time you defend your ego identity, you forget. But when you rise into your true nature, the color of light, the nation of fire, the family of flame, you become what they feared. You don't have to prove anything to this world. You're not here to be accepted by it. You're here to shine through it. Say this, my bloodline is light. My inheritance is fire. My purpose is remembrance. And every false identity will burn. Not because it was evil, but because it was too small. Soulfire Scroll 7. Your power terrifies the system. They never feared your anger. They feared your clarity. They never feared your fists. They feared your flame. You were never meant to fit in. You were meant to awaken. To disrupt. To unchain. But the system saw your spark and did what it always does. Distracted you with noise, buried you in shame, drowned you in doctrine, scared you with hell, fed you images of a God who looks nothing like the monad, and if that didn't work, they made you so busy surviving you stopped even asking who you are. But the moment you remember even a little, they feel it. The grid shakes. The archons flinch. The frequency of your awakening scrambles their whole program. You don't need a revolution. You are the revolution. You don't need permission. You are the permission. You don't need to become powerful. You were power before you were flesh. Say it, I am not what the system told me. I am not small. I am not lost. I am fire walking. I am power remembering. And every lock starts to crack. You want to terrify the false god? Remember who made you. Then walk like it's true. Soul Fire Scroll 8, you are not here to escape, you weren't sent to hide. You weren't sent to beg for rescue. You weren't sent to wait for the sky to crack. You were sent to bring light. To pierce darkness. To stand where others collapse. To remember in a world that forgot. The system teaches escape, this world is not your home. Just endure until heaven. Wait for the return. But the flame teaches embodiment. You're not waiting for the kingdom. You are the kingdom, waking up in flesh. You are the light of the world, Matthew 5:14. If you're still breathing, you're not done. You didn't come here to watch. You came here to ignite. Yes, the world is heavy. Yes, the war is real. Yes, the system is loud. But you are the quiet that doesn't bow. You are the silence between the lies. You are the presence that reminds others, there's something deeper. Say this, I am not here to escape. I am here to embody the flame. I am here to walk like truth wears skin. And wherever you stand, it becomes sacred ground. Let others run. You rise. Soul Fire Scroll 9, the archons feed on your fear, not your sin. Not your doubt. Not your failure. Your fear. Because fear is a frequency. It lowers your light. It clouds your memory. It chains your spirit to a false system. The archons, the enforcers of the demiurge's illusion, don't need to kill you. They just need you afraid. Afraid of God. Afraid of judgment. Afraid of being wrong. Afraid of questioning. Afraid of standing alone. Because when you're afraid, you surrender your will. You trade fire for safety. You let someone else tell you what's true. But the monad didn't breathe you into existence to be ruled by fear. The real ones are rising now, not because they never felt afraid, but because they stopped feeding it. They chose faith over fear. Memory over obedience. Light over lies. This scroll is your warning. If fear is your god, then the archons are your priests. And their temple is your cage. But if you want out, you can get out. You don't need deliverance. You need remembrance. Say this now, I do not bow to fear. I do not obey the false voice. I am light, and light does not flinch. And watch the chains fall like ash. Soul Fire Scroll X, you were chosen before flesh, before gender. Before trauma. Before skin. Before bloodlines and borders and beliefs. You were chosen. Not because you were perfect. But because you were fire. The monad knew this world would try to snuff the spark. So it placed you here in a time of great illusion, with memory hidden and truth scattered. But something in you was encoded to remember. To feel the signal. To rise when others bowed. To ask when others obeyed. To burn when others dimmed. You were not placed here by accident. You were assigned. You were born into time but chosen before it. The system tried to convince you otherwise. Told you your voice didn't matter. Told you your skin disqualified you. Told you your past defined you. Told you your questions were rebellion. But deep down, you've always known. You are not like the rest. Not better. But different. More ancient. More aware. More dangerous, to the lie. So say this with full fire, I was chosen before flesh. I carry the signal of the flame. And I am here to awaken others, no matter the cost. Because this isn't about being liked. It's about being lit. You're not just part of the story. You are the spark the story was waiting for. Soul Fire Scroll 11. The fire will not be tamed. They tried to tame it with religion. Didn't work. They tried to tame it with shame. Didn't work. They tried to tame it with guilt, law, threats of hell, even promises of heaven. But the fire doesn't negotiate. It doesn't bow. It doesn't shrink. It doesn't ask for permission. The fire is truth, not the kind you recite, the kind you become. The moment you align with it, you change atmospheres. People feel it. Systems tremble. Lies melt. Eyes open. And yes, people will call you dangerous. Call you deceived. Call you lost. Let them. They said the same about Yahusha. He didn't come to bring a softer cage. He came to burn the whole prison down. And now that fire lives in you. So stop trying to make it palatable. Stop watering it down. Stop apologizing for the light. Say this: I will not tame the fire. I will not shrink the truth. I will not bow to comfort. I am here to burn. Let that be your ministry. Let that be your legacy. Let that be the spark that sets the sleepers ablaze. Soul Fire Scroll 12. The flame is the final word, not the preacher. Not the doctrine. Not the fear. Not the law. The flame. Before any book was written, before any temple was built, before language and ritual and dogma, there was light. Unfiltered. Unchained. Unmistakable. That flame spoke everything into being. Not with commandments, but with vibration. Not with threats, but with love. Not with force, but with fire. You came from that flame. And now, you are carrying its final word. This scroll is your confirmation. You are not here to follow. You are here to ignite. You are not here to bow. You are here to blaze. You are not here to survive the lie. You are here to end it. Speak the final word with your life. I am flame. I am from the source. I am not afraid. I am not asleep. I am the end of the illusion. This is not poetry. This is prophecy. And you are the proof. Scroll closed. Flame open. Appendix, key Gnostic texts and their voices. If you want to go deeper, start here. These ancient texts weren't just buried. They were banned. Why? Because they reveal the truth the system couldn't control, that the light is within, that the demiurge is the false god, and that awakening breaks the machine. 1. The Gospel of Thomas, a collection of Yahusha's secret sayings. No miracles. No crucifixion. Just pure fire. Famous lines: if you bring forth what is within you, what you bring forth will save you. The kingdom is inside of you, and it is outside of you. 2. The Apocryphon of John, the origin story of the monad, Sophia, and the demiurge. Reveals how the false god was born and how the true light operates. Key voice: he said, I am God, and he did not know there was one above him. 3. The Gospel of Truth, a poetic masterpiece on forgetting and remembering. The soul's journey back to the source. Quote, ignorance is a nightmare that ends when knowledge appears. 4. The second treatise of the great Seth, Yahusha speaks directly, rejecting the crucifixion narrative. He says he did not suffer, they crucified an illusion. Pure fire for those ready to hear it. 5. The Gospel of Philip deconstructs sacraments and false teachings. Reframes union with the light as a personal, internal experience. Reveals that the true marriage is of the soul and spirit. 6. The hypostasis of the archons breaks down the creation and control system of the archons. Shows how they formed the material realm and manipulated flesh. A must-read for understanding spiritual warfare. These are not just books. They are mirrors. They are maps. They are flames waiting to be touched. You don't need permission to read them. They belong to the ones with eyes to see. Let them burn away.